Hi guys, sorry I can't be there. I'm currently in Perth at the moment for a wedding, so I've had to do my presentation at home via recording and upload it to present to you guys today. So I did my diagram based on an exploded diagram of a camera lens. I did my elective class in photography this semester, and I thought that it would be a great way for me to look further into photograph technology. In order to successfully complete this brief, there were quite a few elements that I had to research into, including diagrams, how they're constructed, how they're designed, and also what information they provided in the design, whether it be simple labeling, which is what I've done, or if they provided more information or provided a bit more of a description. Another element was to understand and learn more about the shape building tool, pen tool, and Pathfinder tools in Illustrator. In order to create a successful diagram, it was essential for me to learn how to use these tools successfully, and it ended up making the design process a lot more easier. Lee was actually the main resource in to how I learnt how to use these tools the best. I did have a little bit more of a look online, but really it's face-to-face contact and being able to talk about what I'm doing that helps me personally the most. So that was fantastic. Another element was also overprinting, which was a key element in the brief. And it was amazing to learn and properly understand how two colours can create three and different shades depending on the opacity or the tinting that you use for one or two of the colours that you have to use, which was amazing, and it really expanded the possibilities in my design. So some of the reflections, as some of you would know from last week, I learnt that it is necessary to make sure you find a photograph or an image that has a Creative Commons license. I thought I had initially found a photo that I could use, but it turns out that I didn't. So it's going to be imperative for me to speak with the original owner of the photograph. If we are looking at putting these up for sale, I need to make sure that I get his approval to be able to use his photo, which is more just as a reference. As you can probably tell, the diagram or what I've created isn't a huge representation of the initial photograph, so hopefully it's not going to be an issue. Another element that I learnt was, again, the Pathfinder tool and how to create 3D vector images. Again, that it is incorporated within colour to get that effect, but these are certainly tools that I'll be using throughout my career and in future applications and future projects. Another element was halftone dots and how to use them in a 1950s style. The style of printing that I decided to go with was risograph printing, and halftone dots really complement that style. I found that it really lifted my design and created a lot of depth. The areas that I have that now have halftone dots were just solid colours, and it did make the diagram quite heavy and a little bit hard to read or understand because the colours were so dark. So the halftone dots have really lifted that, and it's certainly a technique that I'll be using in the future. Again, how to apply overprinting effectively, so using two colours to create three, is, I feel, a time-saving learning curve as well as cost. It's really interesting how you can get different colors, different tones just from using two colors and playing around with the tint or the opacity of the colors that you've got to use with. So that was a big learning curve for me. And risograph printing is something that it's the first time I've experimented with, and you guys are going to be able to see my print before me. I think Lizzie's picked mine up for me, so hopefully it looks great. It's an amazing printing technique, and I was really excited to use it for this project, especially again in conjunction with the halftone dots. I think hopefully it looks great. I had to do a little bit of research to fully understand what the style of printing was like. The diagram here is one that I found that is a great representation of how risograph printing works and the colours that are generally provided by risograph printers. And it was a great tool to use when figuring out what colours I was going to use for my diagram. So future applications, honestly, everything that I've learned throughout this project are tools that I'm going to be using in future projects and certainly throughout my career, especially using the Pathfinder tool, the pen tool, and the shape building tool in Illustrator. It's just invaluable. It's an invaluable skill to master and learn and understand and use for future projects. I'm really excited to use the halftone dots in some of my personal designs, just for prints, posters. In conjunction with risograph printing, I think hopefully it's a great effect. Again, I haven't seen my print yet, but I'm really excited to apply that in future projects, and I think it's really going to push me as a designer to come out of my shell and kind of create things that I wouldn't have normally. So yeah, that's my design. I hope you guys like it. I'm sorry again I can't be there to see all your presentations and final designs, but I'm sure they look great. And have a great holiday, and I look forward to seeing you guys all next year for the final year. Thanks guys. See you later.